Hello and welcome to the NBA Minutes to Win It podcast. I'm Big Italy 42. He is Jason Gilbo at JGilbo11. Kind of a switch. Actually, it is a switch from Monday to Tuesday this week, as we've normally seen big slates on Monday, small slates on Tuesday. The opposite this week. I haven't looked far enough ahead. I'm kind of irritated by this slate enough that I haven't really looked ahead to see if that's going to be the case moving forward. But either way, only 3 games tonight. 2 of them with spreads of at least 13. The other one with an 8-point spread. So you're taking a lot of chances with just about anybody that you're playing tonight. You can make an okay lineup, but certainly not a game that a night that I'm encouraging people to be playing cash games, though.
No, definitely not. And looking forward to next week. It's back to normal, so that's a good thing there. But yeah, I mean, you're looking at that San Antonio game, likely a blowout. I'm hoping Pop maybe sits a few guys because that would open up some value. I mean, that would kind of help. You could fit Curry and Draymond into one lineup if guys like Tony Parker sat out and Duncan. So if that does happen, maybe I'll play, but it's a bad slate.
Yeah, we'll see. But either way, it's we'll proceed assuming that you are going to play cash games and GPPs and say who we would be playing. But I'm with you. I'm on the fence on whether or not. I've been tinkering with some lineups. We'll see. But I am kind of hoping for something to come out. And it's kind of the opposite, really. Joakim Noah going to be back now, so that's taking away some potential pseudo value, I guess it is. But either way, at point guard, obviously, if you're playing, you're looking at GPPs at least. You're definitely playing Steph Curry. You're probably looking at him in cash games as well because you can fit him in there if you want. He's expensive on both sides, coming off a ridiculously good game against Sacramento. Of course, that's Rajon Rondo, and we know the kind of defense that he plays, or lack thereof. Now facing Miami, obviously Goran Dragic doesn't stand much of a chance at all against Curry. But once again, the concern here being the big potential blowout, 14-point spread. Wouldn't be surprised to see it be higher by tonight. Or maybe this is the 13, I don't know. But either way, big spread on this one. So, I mean, Curry's the obvious top option, and he may still be the highest scorer even if he only plays 3 quarters.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at what he did. He's obviously healthy. He put up 38, 11, and 6 last game. So, I mean, tougher matchup. It's in Golden State. They're going to play at their high tempo. And I kind of worry about Miami trying to play that type of game, which is why I think Vegas has him projected as a pretty good blowout. But, I mean, as far as the Dragic is a cheap play, I don't hate it in tournaments. I mean, he definitely has 30-point upside, but it's Goran Dragic.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those ones that makes you feel sick. But to be honest, on this slate, you're going to have to play some guys you don't feel too good about if you're going to make any lineups anyway. John Wall, dealing with, I think it's a knee bruise, they said. You imagine he'll be fine. No indication that he's going to sit or even questionable, really, for today. But obviously facing Derrick Rose, not an intimidating thing. But as much as I don't want to say it, I feel like if you're playing cash games, you kind of have to give Derrick Rose a look. I mean, he hasn't been great recently, but guy's still taking 15-plus shots a game, usage rate over 25%, right around 6K. Obviously, John Wall is a solid defender. You aren't trying to pick on him, but when you can get him Derrick Rose for right around $4,000 less than Wall and Curry. I mean, one of those guys has a subpar game, and all of a sudden Derrick Rose, if he gets you 28 to 32 points, may end up being one of the better values.
Yeah, which, he's been around that range lately. You're looking at 30-plus or DK points in 4 of the last 5 games, and against some tougher opponents. You look at Boston, you look at Milwaukee, Toronto, who are pretty good against the point guard. So he's kind of held his own, and like you mentioned, I mean, Wall's a pretty good defender, but I mean, not one to scare me off, Rose.
No, not at all. Outside of that, there's really nothing to like at point guard. I mean, you could look at it, assuming that he plays, and there's no indication that he won't, but it is Popovich and a big spread. Tony Parker is an option. If he's playing like he did last game, was his first game back from injury, played really well there. Of course, Shane Larkin going to get minutes, but it is still the Spurs, and I just don't want to try to play anybody against the Spurs. But you kind of have to on this slate. You're going to have to at least consider guys. Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather attack him with the guards than anything. If I am going to play, well, I mean, you have to. But if you are going to look at Brooklyn players, I mean, Larkin's got to be at the top of your list just for a cheap play.
Yeah, absolutely. As we look at shooting guard, Dwayne Wade's on the injury report, but he's got him as probable, so it looks like he's going to go anyway. And not a great matchup for him against Klay Thompson, who's a good individual defender, but obviously in this situation, if Miami's going to keep this one close, you're going to need big games from Wade and Bosh, so you imagine they're going to be taking plenty of shots there. But really, if I'm paying up, though, it's going to be Jimmy Butler number 1, and then a distant second going to be Klay Thompson for me.
Yeah, especially Klay Thompson just burning the world after that last game. We knew it was
in the
coming,
most ideal situation.
We knew it was coming, but we played him anyway. But yeah, I mean, I think Jimmy Butler's the obvious top option, and I think I'd rather go him and then go value. You're looking at Ginobili and Joe Green, both getting minutes and playing pretty good basketball of late.
Yeah, and especially on DraftKings where Butler's only $200 more than
Yeah.
Klay Thompson.
And you only have to play one.
Yeah, and he's $1,000 more on FanDuel, so keep that in mind. I'll tell you, if there's one player that I would not play tonight, no matter what, even if my life depended on it, it would be Joe Johnson.
I'm with you there.
There's not a
Or
chance.
probably Garrett Temple. I mean, he's going to see Jimmy Butler, likely.
See, I would want to, but at least Garrett Temple, I mean, at least he's cheaper. At least he can do things other than shoot, and he's
Yeah.
not facing the Spurs. I mean, I know he's going to see some Butler, but I mean, I don't like either one, to be honest with you. I'm not trying to encourage either one.
I can't stand this guy, but Danny Green.
I'm a Danny Green fan. I always have
It
been.
could be a Danny Green night.
It could be. There's been a couple recently, but the ones in between have been the opposite of Danny Green nights.
Yeah.
So-
we played 11 and 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Near minimum salary, though, I mean, he's certainly worth a punt if you're going that route. And, you know, there are a couple other viable shooting guard punts. Ginobili's been playing well off the bench, but we know he's almost destined to get exactly 22 or 23 minutes when healthy. That's about what he's going to get. Gerald Green's really the only other option you've got there. And he's reasonably priced and playing well over his past two games, but just keep in mind this guy is very scoring dependent, so I'm certainly not expecting 25 to 30 fantasy points like he's got in the last couple games.
yeah, definitely. But I mean, he's going to be used coming off the bench. I mean, they're going to need some scores, and you know, guys like Tyler Johnson and Justice Winslow aren't particularly good shooters. So you look at Joe Green to really pull ahead for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we've got small forward, where obviously if you're paying up, it's not even close here. It's Kawhi Leonard. Obviously, potential for a blowout, but we know that the old story with Kawhi Leonard, it's certainly possible that he puts up big numbers and or gets a little bit of run in a potential blowout more than guys like Duncan and Parker. Has faced Brooklyn once this year, played only 25 minutes but got 35 fantasy points. So certainly an option, but I think cash games, if you're paying up at other spots, which makes sense for the most part. I mean, Leonard and Porter is the way you want to go, but I think Porter dollar for dollar is going to be my favorite small forward because that should be the most competitive game. He's played well, and I mean, at significantly less salary, he's much lower risk.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's been really solid lately. You look at the last three games, and we were kind of down on him on that Cleveland game, and you know, he went 12-7-2 with, you know, 2 steals there. So I think, you know, he's got a nice 30 fantasy point floor, and he definitely has upside if he gets it going shooting wise.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a whole lot of other options that really stand out here. I mean, Jared Dudley has played well, but we know his floor is about the same as yours or mine. 3-game slate, you got to have to take chances, I guess, and I prefer him over other guys in similar price, like Luol Deng. I wouldn't be playing him. I guess I'd play Dudley over him, but we're talking worst case scenario. I mean, if you're going the safe route in cash games, just get Leonard and Porter and move on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you look at the other cheap options, you got Bogdanovich, Luol Deng. I mean, I guess Justice Winslow, he's been seeing some minutes, but I mean, if you're ranking him, Dudley definitely ranks number 1 out of those 4 guys.
Yeah, certainly. But by default. Power forward options, of course, at the top, it's Draymond Green. Facing off against Chris Bosh, I mean, he has somehow, despite playing well the last couple games, his salary is just so high that recently he just hasn't been worth it. I mean, 30, 41, and 45 fantasy points. One of those was a triple-double, and we're talking FanDuel scoring here, of course, but he's about 10K on both sites. So, yes, he's got the highest floor of any player at power forward, and it isn't even close. But, I mean, if this game is a blowout, maybe he gets a little bit of run, but I just don't see him having any upside in this game.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. But I mean, I guess I like him a little bit more on DK because you get those double-double bonuses, you get those triple-double bonuses, and you get the 3-point bonuses, which clearly help him out over FanDuel because, I mean, where he's in the 40s, he's in the 50s on DK. So, I mean, I don't mind him, but it's tough to see him going off. I mean, truly going off tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Miami, I mean, they just don't have the firepower, I don't think, to keep this game close, and hopefully they do, so this slate isn't quite as awful as we expect, but I just don't see it happening. But with that said, though, despite the tough matchup, Chris Bosh still remains one of your better options at power forward. He's been playing very well recently. He's got a decently high usage rate, and it is a tough matchup, but I mean, someone's going to have to score. Bosh is going to be putting up a ton of shots. and you don't love it, but I mean, your other options are Thad Young against the Spurs, who Thad Young kind of coming back down to earth here in his last couple games, 20 to 25 fantasy points his last three. Facing off against Aldridge, who I don't think Aldridge is a bad option, but if we're talking about potential for somebody sitting, maybe it could be him, or maybe if Duncan sits or something of that nature, I mean, I'll be all about LaMarcus Aldridge, but I just don't really love either one of those options. And on DraftKings, you don't have the option to play Pau Gasol because he's a center there. So you still like Pau Gasol, though, if you can get him. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, you look at that Bulls situation, Joakim Noah likely back tonight, probable to play. I mean, Chicago's expected to roll out the same starting unit, Mirotic at the 3, Gibson at the 4, and Gasol at the 5, but it's going to take away some minutes, I guess you could say. If Noah plays 20, I mean, someone's going to come off. So guys like Gibson, I think it's a little bit risky. Same with Mirotic, but 3-game slate, you're going to have to take some risks.
Yeah, and guys like Bobby Portis, with Noah back, I'm going to wait and see how many minutes Noah gets before I even pretend to go that route right now.
Yeah, free Bobby Portis might be back on the train again of we're all screaming because Noah's back.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess one viable cheap option, and by viable I mean he doesn't have a floor of absolute zero, Boris Diaw. He's played well in limited minutes, but I mean this is just because it's a 3-game slate. It's not because he's a great play.
Did you see his espresso maker in his locker?
No.
Oh, it's great. He's just literally sitting there with an espresso maker, like with jerseys hanging over it, just sipping espresso.
That's
after an easy win where they win by 30 and he scored 25, DraftKings points.
So it was after every game?
Yeah, everyone, about 5 so far this season?
Yeah, I mean, it could be one of those nights here once again, especially with the Nets. I mean, if Jared Jack was playing, maybe they keep it competitive, but I mean,
we'll see. At least 3 quarters. At least they keep it competitive for 3 quarters.
Yeah, exactly. So, speaking of the Nets, though, and being competitive, if they are going to be competitive, Brook Lopez is going to have a big game. And I won't say he's struggled the last 2 games, but hasn't come close to his salary, especially on FanDuel, where he's at $8,600. Tough matchup individually with Duncan and obviously the Spurs bigs and anyone against the Spurs right now. But I guess if you're paying up, then he's an option in tournaments. There's not a chance I'm playing him in cash games. I think in cash games, it's kind of a no-brainer for me. I'm going Marcin Gortat here if I'm playing cash games, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you there. I mean, he's kind of the easy plug-and-play just for his points. The matchup's great. Chicago hasn't been great against centers, so, yeah, I mean, he's an easy call tonight.
Definitely. You can look at Hassan Whiteside in tournaments because just from his block potential, I should say, alone, he's in play, but minutes been fluctuating every once in a while here, and I mean hasn't been rebounding particularly well. I mean 8, 9, 11 is okay, but for his price tag, I mean you want more than that because he's not going to score a lot of real points in most games. So you need the peripherals to be there, and they really just haven't been recently.
Yeah, and he actually struggles on the road a little bit. He's averaged 8 DraftKings points less on the road, so definitely concerning just for his price and his minutes limit, I guess you could say he's on, because it's either 30 or you could see him in the 22s.
Yeah, exactly. So good luck on this slate if you choose to play it. It's not going to be a pretty one. I'd be lying to you if I said I'm not going to try to make a cash game lineup and see if I can make it work. But either way, like you mentioned in your article there, it's not a bad day to get yourself a Monday off from what's almost
kick the feet up. Watch the national championship. Enjoy the day.
Yeah, watch Clemson win the national championship tonight, and worry about the NBA tomorrow on the big slate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll wrap things up for us here. Find us on Twitter at DF Cafe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got lots of other content at dailyfantasycafe.com.